Hey, listen, boys and girls, welcome. We're in my humble abode, my office, my home away from home. And listen, I've got a fragrance for my house that not only have I never heard of, but also has one of the craziest looking bottles in the game. This one's for men and women, so strap up. We're going for that ride. All right, welcome to the scent bubble. I am your host. I'm getting old. My age is showing. Welcome to the scent bubble. I'm your host for the afternoon. Today from the house of Coreterno. I don't know if it's Italian or Spanish. We have Godimenta. This is an eau de parfum unisex fragrance. Maybe we might have to do a house dive if they're bringing some good quality fragrances to the game, so we can let you guys know about new houses. I'm actually quick tidbit here. I'm currently accumulating a Rolodex in the form of an Excel and PDF spreadsheet of all niche designer vintage inspo brands sorted by tabs and prioritizing them based off who's received the highest scores from me on their fragrances accumulatively as an average, and then sorting those people into tiers, because that's always how I feel is the hardest for you to navigate. Which houses exist and how good are they compared to everybody else, especially when you go over into artisanal or indie niche, even vintage. Figuring out where you should start if you're curious about these brands and these houses is like a nightmare unless you got someone like me on YouTube. So that list is probably going to take me another half a year or year, but I may make it live so you guys can see how it gets updated constantly. And that way you guys can kind of just sort through what is SB's hierarchy of brands we should look into and fragrances we should look into in some sort of a roadmap. Because I don't want to curate your journey. I just want to give you clear navigation. Like if you're driving up to a four-way stop and you're like, I'm looking for, Ross Road. It should say Ross Road, and you know where Ross Road is going to take you if you make that right-hand turn. And I feel like nowadays there's just a bunch of names and signs and labels. You have no clue what kind of quality, style of perfumery you're getting into, and it's overwhelming. So anyways, I am trying to be authentic with my journey, so much so that your journey becomes more authentic because you start feeling empowered to do what you want to do in this thing. Anyways, unisex fragrance for men and women, classified as an oriental woody, only 88 votes, but a very high score, 4.2. That's just about got to get your nose on it out of 5. And this fragrance dropped last year, 2025. Bottle looks crazy. So I'm going to go ahead. Appreciate LB. Shout outs to LB for this sample. He gave me like 3-4 ml. We're just going to dive right in. Hopefully it's not beast mode. 2 on the hand. 2 on the Nishane test strips. Well, let's do a third one just for the heck of it. Smells sweet in the air. Oriental woody. Let's see what it's hitting for. Hope you guys are having an awesome day out there. I'm wearing my Starry Night t-shirt. Shout outs to Mom Dukes. Mom always sends me, I always say, like, if you go out of town, give me a shot glass, because you can fit that in your bag. They're cheap to acquire, and shot glass is nice. I'm not a drinker at the tender age of 37 anymore, but I like seeing shot glasses from everywhere that I've been and that my family has been, and it's just a cheap way to kind of capture the moment of where you've been. And a lot of times shot glasses artistically represent the culture and stuff too. So it's a really nice snapshot that I like keeping around. But this snapshot, I forget where my mom went, but I used to be an artist, so this Starry Night reference was fire to me. Okay, SB, shut the heck up. You're 4 minutes in. We want to hear about the fragrance. All right. No questions. Let's go. This is spearminty. It's fresh spearminty, sweet green. So kind of like a citrusy, but there's this like overhaul of toothpaste vibe to it. Yeah, like an organic toothpaste. on my skin, the toothpaste kind of thing is, it's not too bitter from that kind of spearmint feel, but it feels like a, what is it, like a Dr. something, you know, when you go to Walmart or Target, like Dr. such and such's toothpaste, and it's normally some sort of mint or spearminty type of Colgate feel. I don't know how I feel about this, but it's interesting. I want to hear more about the notes, and I want you guys to look at this bottle for sure. Check out this bottle, guys. Very interesting fragrance. I could barely find it. I think we're going to need an additional website to see like a little bit about this brand, to see the price point. Can we convert this into in USD? So $200 price point. Sorry, we're kind of going to be skipping around. So 30. So you can get a 10 ml travel for how much? For $34. Okay. So there's no real discovery set that I'm aware of. Anyways, let's go back to this. I'm surprised it was even listed. It is a bit rosy now that I smell it. Peppermint, bergamot, lemon leaf, ginger. Mostly I get the peppermint lemon leaf top. Not going to cap to you. It's crazy. Disregard the test strip when you try this fragrance, because it feels 1/3 of the weight on the test strip, and it just amplifies like an extra 5 to 10 volume on skin. Middle notes, we have rose, fir, raspberry, jasmine. Base notes, we have musk, cedarwood, guaiac wood, amber, and sandalwood. This feels like 60% peppermint, 10% lemon leaf, 30% a kind of effervescent rose water and ginger, with tons of cedarwood and musk injected into it. I get almost none of the sandalwood, the fir, the bergamot. The raspberry doesn't really smell like a raspberry. It just smells like a light rose water, and then if you splashed a little bit of raspberry extract in it to kind of sweeten and get more animation out of the rose, it feels rose dominant. But it's got this, I don't know, there's something about this fragrance that kind of gives me nail salon vibes. Like it almost smells, man, I am so weird in my brain, the way my brain connects stuff. I want you to look at this fragrance. Sometimes I'll go off Richter and show you guys. So I want to show you guys two fragrances this reminds me of. One of them's from Nishane. EG or Ege from Nishane is the first reference, but it's closer to me to You or Someone Like You from a Talib d'Orange. Even actually in my mind, Polly, is it? Who makes this? Wilhelm? Polly? Is it Polly? Yes. Even Polly a little bit. Or is it Dear Polly? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, it's mostly, though, I get the Ege and the Dear Polly vibes a tad, but it's mostly You or Someone Like You from a Talib d'Orange, which is kind of like a cult classic. People either absolutely hate it or think it's mid, but a lot of people really love it. And for a lot of the men I see, even some women who wind up actually getting the courage to pull the trigger on a Talib d'Orange fragrance, pick You or Someone Like You as their first purchase. And I do know many people with this. And as you can see, it follows a similar bergamot and mint, green, rose, musk. You know, then you go over to here, it's similar. The raspberry and amber and guaiac wood, I don't really get too much of. I do get a big dose of this ginger. So if you want to know the smell profile in this realm, it's just a very kind of minty splash of rose floral fragrance, a lot of musk. But due to the other notes in this fragrance, here's the actual notes. I don't know if it's too much fir or lemon leaf or the raspberry leaf, it says here, or whatever the heck it is, kind of gives it a weird plastic shiny finish to it that reminds me of kind of the nail, you know, Critno gel kind of nail polish vibes with it. So I don't like that part of this fragrance. It starts off as kind of a 7 out of 10 cool concept, but then it just goes, you know, like If I smelled this in a nail salon, I would walk in because I know I'm in the right place, but I don't like the reference in terms of a fragrance I would put on. Very interesting though. Out of 88 votes, it got a 4.2. So if this is your jam, you know, it's almost like You or Someone Like You with a lot more punch, I feel. You or Someone Like You wears lighter. This wears a little bit extra, like almost like a straight level of punch, just in projection, not longevity. Let's look and see the performance. It's a very middle to heavyweight feel, so moderate sillage, about 3 feet. Longevity, I think this fragrance will be pungent and robust for about 4 hours. It'll last about 4 to 6 hours depending on your skin and hygiene, and then it'll skin scent. But I think the skin scent will probably be there for the rest of the day, especially since a fourth of the votes went towards long lasting and strong. Let's see their references. I'm really surprised they didn't put any of those two fragrances next to this. I'm going to suggest it. You or Someone Like You. Log me in then. Come on. Thank God it didn't show my login here. I think people need to know that, so I promise we'll get off the camera soon, guys. Sometimes you just got to ride with me. So I'm going to say You or Someone Like You, and then Ege. And you know what? Let's throw Dear Polly in there as well. People, what I love about this is I can submit these, and then people can, oh, okay, so You or Someone Like You was here. It's just these weren't. Interesting. Okay. So anyways, let me wrap up for you guys with a couple of usual suspects, and then let's get out of here. This is a peculiar smell. If you're into either hotelish or like you go to the Lush store and you see the lavender and the green, you know, the body soaps and the soap bars and all that stuff, this will put you in that realm. But this is more of the minty, sweet leafy, green basil-y kind of facet of perfume, the petitgrains. It's kind of this light leafy green spearmint sweet gum kind of feel to it. If you're into this, I think you could have a peculiar, unique scent that nobody has, but you have to like it, because if you hear me say nail salon and you think nail salon, this is just no. I think as a scent, for me, because of that reference, I give it a 6, but the quality of this is very nice. It just is using notes and accords that I don't think go together. So if you don't think that way, you'll think this is a very robust, great fragrant wearing experience. Age-wise, because it's peculiar, I don't think it has an age. Some might mistake the complexity and oddness for maturity, so they might not like that. But that's all up for grabs. I'm going to call it ageless. Performance, I think, will be 4 to 6 hours easy, and then pretty much all day skin scent. The price point of this fragrance is $200, so you may want to just get the 10 ml, I think. I don't know if you can sample it lower than a 10 ml, but it looks like the 10 ml you could probably get for like 20, 30 bucks. Alternatives. You or Someone Like You from Etat Libre d'Orange is easily going to be my first recommendation, but they smell very close together. So if you're looking for something that smells better than this in this wheelhouse, I may go over to Nishane's Ege or to Wilhelm's Dear Polly, but all four of those fragrances are peculiar and have different pluses or minuses about them. So try those fragrances first, wear those fragrances first, and then see what you land on. But this is quality perfumery. Just don't really like the perfumer's hands on this one. Sprays, I think you got to be careful. I would say 4 to 10, depending on where you live. And as a score, I give it a 6, unfortunately. I think if you love this, you'll probably give it like an 8 at best. And that's where I sit with it. Again, this was Coreterno Godimenta. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. I want you guys to like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Talk to me. I do talk back. I know that was a bit drawn out, but my reviews are not scripted. Sometimes I have like a guide. Like right here, I have on a notepad, tell them the seasons, occasions, age, performance, sprays, price, alternatives, and score. In case I forget to tell you guys that, I can circle back. But I'm freestyling all this information live as I'm wearing it. The only thing that I go into this review with is that I've worn the fragrance for an entire day prior to recording. so that if there's any performance variations, I can self-edit that into the review. But since it's a freestyle, not all of my reviews are the same exact sequential format. And I hope you guys dig that. That way you guys know I'm being honest and in the moment, but I'm also trying to give you guys valid, helpful information as well. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, talk to me. I do talk back. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you guys wear any of the alternatives or this fragrance at all? Please give the community feedback on your experience with it, or if you like fragrances like that. And let me know if you get your nose on this one in particular, or if you have any questions, I would love to answer them for you. I think we'll throw this in the raffle. Not because it's a fragrance I wouldn't wear, but because I know somebody will absolutely love this, and we'll give you guys the option to walk away with a 3 ml of this since we're doing our really big giveaway coming up soon. If you're new here, we cover fragrances from dirt cheap to most insanely expensive $2,000, $3,000 fragrances. And we have tons of videos for you to binge watch in the form of what I call edutainment, education that's entertaining. I love you guys. Hope you stay blessed. And until next time, have a great rest of your week. Peace.